This is the crock rockin', nickelback poppin', curls for all the girls, the Perminator, Sam Beal. And I am on the Sit Down Marks podcast, and we're going to get some perfection today, baby.
Hey, yo, if I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah!
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Come on in. Sit down. It's time to talk a little wrestling. It's episode number 176 of the Best Kept Secret in Wrestling podcast, the Sit Down Marks podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Come on in. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for watching on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for downloading and subscribing. We really appreciate it on all these podcast platforms. Got a loaded pod for you today, man. It's going to be a good one, but you know the boys from the pod. Let's introduce them to you. Primo, all the way on the East Coast. What's going on, my man? He prefers dark meat and legs over turkey breast.
That's right. That's right. Turkey breast is always dried out if they don't know how to cook a turkey right. You really got to baste that thing in butter. But if you have someone like Mrs. Primo that knows how to make a damn good turkey gravy, then you're all set.
Yeah, some of us don't have that privilege. My wife has enough cooking ability of basically a chair. So there you go. She makes a decent pot of chili, and she'll tell you, she didn't pay attention when her mom tried to show her how to cook growing up. So I have to outsource that kind of stuff, So, but the mother-in-law, there's the cook. Yeah, that's the cook. You just gotta find them. So. And you know him as Green Hat Guy. If you've been to a show in the Midwest in Chicago, you've seen this guy before. What's going on, Dylan? How you doing, brother?
Oh, we are doing great, boys. We got a loaded show, like you said, DB, all kinds of wrestling going on. Really like Thanksgiving, you got your turkey or whatnot, but like we're all about the desserts over here. Give me that pumpkin pie. Give me that banana pudding. Like, who cares how dry the turkey is? I'm going to fill up on pumpkin pie anyway. Like, whatever, Let's have some fun.
Right.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Do you prefer cranberry sauce from the can?
I don't eat it either way.
I don't eat it either.
I love it from the can.
Yeah.
Well, that's good you're around that way.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's jump into it. It's time for the hot start. 5 topics in the sport of professional wrestling. Here we go, Primo. All right. Topic number 1, boys. I mean, we got to talk about it. I mean, we talked about it on the text chain today. One of the best Monday Night Raws we've seen in quite a while last night, but I kind of want to focus on, kind of what was the main, part of it, how you guys liking the Last Time Is Now tournament? I don't think we've kind of talked since they've kind of put this together. We've, other things going on, but big pop last night for Dolph Ziggler, man. So how you guys enjoying it so far?
Yeah, the pops, I popped for Ziggler and I popped for Ryder. And as far as the matchups go, they got some freaking bomb matchups like Penta and Finn. Solo faced off against Ziggler. Cardona and LA Knight was actually a banger.
How about it?
Yeah.
I mean, Zack Ryder, excuse me.
Whoa.
But anyway, yeah. I think the matchups have been. Oh, and Javon Evans and Gunther. That was great.
Yeah.
But the matchups have been great. And I do like that. There have been a lot of talent that actually haven't been associated with John, and some that have. So that's cool too.
Yeah, I like the mix, like you're talking about, Primo. Like they didn't bring up like here's 8 people that have never wrestled Cena. Let's see who gets the shot. And they weren't like, okay, here's 8 people that you've seen wrestle Cena 100 times. Let's see who gets his last one. Like it's a good mix. Basically echo what Primo just said, but I got to throw in that Nakamura and Sheamus match. I believe that's right. And I'm second guessing myself. From a week ago, it was. That was, as Sheamus says, banger after banger. Like they delivered. I love seeing Nakamura get a little bit of shine. Still a lot of tournament left. And I like just the way that Cena's dates have lined up, where like last night was his last Raw. You don't see him again till Survivor Series. Right. And then that last match is his last show, last appearance. I like that it's a tournament where Cena doesn't have to be there to, have some story, quote unquote, where it's week after week cutting promos on each other. Like, okay, I can take these couple weeks off and then I can show up on Saturday night's main event and fight whoever it is I'm going to fight. Like, it's been fun. I like that they're doing it this way.
Yeah, he's the IC champ now too. It completes the Grand Slam for him. He just, man, like, what a year! What a year! You know what I mean?
What
for
a
your,
year!
For your
Yeah,
final
and
retirement run.
what a an honor and a statement said about Dominic Mysterio that 3 of the last 4 matches are him.
Yeah. It shows they're investing in Dom in the future, right? Like, who would have thought?
That hit me today, what Primo was just talking about, because if you look back on the year, there's not been a whole lot of like multiple matches. Like, he had the 2 with Cody, at Mania and SummerSlam. They had like the tag match that we all agreed at the time, and even more so now, shouldn't have happened, like the Cena and Logan versus Cody and Jay or something like that. But like, Dom's the only one getting like a full like series of matches. Like, Cena beat him for the title. They had their 6-man last night, and then the rematch for the title at the pay-per-view. Like, he's not getting the last match where all that focus is at, but he's getting like the last rivalry. Like, that's pretty cool.
And I was looking into this last night too, and I was trying to explain this to my daughter, but she don't get this part yet. How about the spot that JD McDonough got? He got to take the pin from Cena on his last Raw.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? Like I was trying to explain that to my daughter, that's a big deal, and she's like, but he lost. I'm like, yeah, but that's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, anybody would have loved to have been in that spot, take that last pin from Cena on Raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
even funnier about that, and I pointed out to my brother when it happened, but when JD takes the pin, he got a whole handful ass grab from Cena when he did it. If you go back and watch him on the 3 count, he grabs his ass so tight. I'm like,
ooh.
Hell?
I didn't catch that.
I missed that. Yeah, I was double screening at that point last night. I missed.
So was I. Great game.
Yeah.
That was cool. There was a lot of a lot like that went on with that last night. Like, my daughter was going, because she thinks that I just, I tell her how I think matches are going to play out sometimes, and and I'm right, by the scenario usually. Right. And she's like, whoa. And she's like, well, who's John Cena's mystery opponent going to be then, Mr. And I'm like,
Mr. Know-It-All.
Yeah, and I didn't pull Dolph out. I didn't think, I didn't think that, but pleasantly surprised and happy, I mean, to see it too. So
I literally just saw a video of him. Yeah, he's in TNA. Yeah. I saw a video of him yesterday, beforehand, as Nick Nemeth, getting interviewed. I don't know if you guys know who Alan Owens is, but he's a guy on TikTok, and he goes to a lot of events. Anyway, he was getting a little interview with him, and he was like, "Yeah, there's no way I can do that right now. I got this thing with my brother and the system that I got to take care of in TNA. I'm too busy." And then they showed up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, with him and Cardona both, it's like they're TNA guys. They're not coming back to WWE, but they had long enough runs that everybody knows who they are. It's not like, oh, I think I vaguely remember that guy. No, like, you still know who they are. And with it being like TNA, there's that working partnership. So it's not like they had to go get an Edge, from AEW, or you got to work through a bunch of different contract mumbo jumbo, or they didn't bring back Jericho for this. It was like,
I also
two guys,
like that it's like stepping into another dimension. So it's like, it's like over here, he's Ziggler. Yeah. Over there,
Right. Yeah. I still think there's going to be some sort of chicanery somewhere along the way in this tournament. Somebody's going to get taken out backstage. There's going to be a surprise substitute, I think, somewhere.
It's been very clean. Like, all the matches, like, there's, people in the tournament have rivals, like, outside of the tournament. And there's been no, like, distraction finish, nobody costing somebody the match. Sure. They've all been just straight up in the ring, which I like.
Right.
It's like that it's not, schmoz after schmoz. Yeah. But, there's going to be some shenanigan, we'll call it, at some point around here.
For sure. All right, boys, let's move on. Topic number 2. Women PWI Women's 250 just came out. You know, they always have the PWI 500. Now the Women's 250 just came out. So we got to talk about that at least a little bit. A couple notables here for you. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this first. Let's talk. Should have had this ready to go. But let's talk about the top 10 just to start off. So Mercedes Moné was 1. Toni Storm was 2. Saya Kamatani was 3. Tiffany Stratton 4. Stephanie Vaquer, try to say that like Michael does, at 5. Io Sky at 6. Athena at 7. Saraya at 8. Naomi at 9. And Rhea Ripley at 10. What do you guys think about the top 10? It's pretty spot on.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints with it, honestly. Mercedes has the 25 titles. Like, how could she not be number one?
Right.
Yeah. Like, PWI is, it's the kayfabe, wins and losses matter, title wins matter, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, like, she's held the main title, the TBS it is, I think, like, the whole year pretty much, or I think the whole year. And, like I said, however many belts she's up to now, like 8 or 9 or whatever, or 10 maybe. You could definitely argue like maybe Tony's ahead of her, or you could nitpick different stuff here and
way
there.
ahead of her.
Story-wise, yeah, it's not even close.
God, I know, right?
Yeah, but if they're looking at wins and losses, it's probably going to be Mercedes, and it's I'm not losing sleep over it.
No. So a couple notables, kind of, up in the corporate world. Number 28 was Chelsea Green, our newly crowned women's champ again, U.S. champ. 29, Charlotte. 33, Megan Bain. 53, Jade Cargill. 68, Marina Shafir. 89, Maggie Lee. 97, Alexa Bliss. 98, Billy Starks. And then jumping over into the independent world, as we're, a couple people that we see on a regular. Shaza McKenzie, 108. Zeta Steele, 117. Or Shayna Baszler, now in the Indies, going to be at Dreamwave in a couple weeks, 162. Laney Luck, brand new WWE ID Women's Champ, she's 166. J-Rod, 179. Becca, the Dreamwave Women's Champ, 197. Brittany Brooks, 206. RJS, 217. A couple notables. Maki Ito, 241. Izzy Marino's 244. So I'm not really, mad at any of those, I think they nailed this one better. I mean, the only two, there's half as many, but I think they did better on this list than the boys.
Yeah. Like Billy, she's doing Ring of Honor stuff when she hits that like main roster, quote unquote AEW, she'll soar up the list. Other names you mentioned, like Maggie, when she gets really in the mix at TNA, she'll soar up the list. Can't talk all of a sudden. And like I don't, anything you named off, I don't have any complaints with any of it.
Yeah. See any crazy numbers there, Primo?
No. I mean, I'm not much of I'm a Mercedes Moné hater, so I mean, beyond that, I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight, really. I think the numbers they're fine as they are.
Yeah, I like them too. All right, topic number 3, boys. Let's talk Jericho, man. I just want to get your opinion. It seems inevitable. There's enough people talking about him coming back to WWE. I feel like it's probably going to happen soon. You guys feel like it's the right place for him, Primo? You're a big Jericho fan. It's the right place for him to finish up, or
I definitely think it's where he should finish. But also, I think some of the speculation obviously stems from some of the comments he's made about AEW and TNA. How he said TNA was at Bound for Glory was massive and all that stuff, and he said some less than spectacular things about AEW. So that automatically people are like, oh, yep, he's back on the payroll because he said, those things. So,
right.
But I mean, I'd be down with it because I'm a mark, but I don't think it would be a long run, but I did think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards him going to TNA. Actually, he's not been there before. I think he finishes with WWE. Like the end game here is the Hall of Fame induction and a run around that before or after. But he's not done TNA. They don't run a whole lot, so he could still do the Fozzy gig.
Yeah,
around it.
Boy, could they use him right now?
Yeah, exactly. And part of me is a little worried that might be. I'm getting way tinfoil hat deep here, but wondering if maybe he's already pulling some strings. If there's already some stuff going on. He's friends with Callis and D'Amore, and they're gone. So now it seems like if it was going to happen, maybe it would have been 5-6 years ago. But the Anthem people that still own it, I believe, they're all Canadian based. He's Canadian based. Maybe there's some ties there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a short run in TNA, and it might be more of the 2010 Hulk Hogan come in, take over everything, and flush it down the toilet, and then jump back to WWE type run. But it'd be interesting. I'd be surprised at this point, like Primo said, if he showed back up in AEW. I'd be a little bit surprised.
Sure.
Does he if he signs with WWE, does he still get to do Chris Jericho?
I think so.
It would. With being Jericho, he could probably work that.
I mean, it's his creation, his thing. So
yeah, and it's not. He started it before AEW, so it's not like it's even like AEW presents Chris Jericho's Cruise. It was. And
there's also they've I guess, and then they've also in these days have written in contracts with people able to do other obligations and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe we take the sit down marks live on the Chris Jericho.
Hell yeah. Let's go, boys.
Let's get it. All right, boys. Topic number 4. This is basically just because we got to talk about this. So last night on IWTV, we saw they were crowning a brand new WWE ID Women's Championship. And if you're watching right now on Facebook and YouTube, the girl not pictured on the flyer ended up being the eventual winner, Lanie Luck. I kind of felt like we probably needed to talk about her just a little bit because, out of all, so she competed in a 6-way to, the winner got to be the second ever WWE ID champ. Out of all the girls, Erica DeMaya, we're familiar with her, Brittany Brooks, Mimi. She seemed like the most deserving, but not deserving because we've seen her put in so much work over the last, at least, 7 or 8 years around here. At least, she's a Chicago girl, but she really kind of made her name in St. Louis first. You know what I mean? And they kind of melded back into Chicagoland. Now, everybody in Illinois obviously loves her, but I felt like it was, Dylan, I'll let you kind of elaborate on this too, but I kind of like to me, when stuff like this happens, like what happened to Lanie last night, finally, breaking through, getting a WWE contract, it's what the business is all about, man. It's what the independents are all about. It's what dreams are made of. You know what I mean? Like this was the best, how this all came down last night.
Yeah. We were in our group chat with Tori, shout out Tori. We were texting about it, most of the day yesterday who do you think it's going to be? What could, the pros and cons of the different possibilities, I guess we'll call it. And, very happy for Lady. I've seen her in St. Louis a ton, countless, I keep a list of the best matches I've seen in person, each year. And every time you see a Lanie match, you pretty much add it to the list. Out of the people in the match, she's got the most experience. Mm-hmm. And so we were, kind of going back and forth, if they're going to sign her, do they give her the ID contract or do they just full on give her a, I don't know, regular quote unquote developmental contract? But, some of the other girls there, they seem to, how do I put this into words? But what the ID program is, they seem to be more in that focus. But Lanie, like Kylie before her, got the experience. You can trust them with the title. Love to see it. And then just the emotion Laney showed in the ring, you could tell how much it meant to her to finally get that contract. You know, I've been on here several times saying, "Hey, Tony Khan, you got to get that contract out." And now maybe he's missed his spot. And get that WWE ID. You know, we'll still see her on the Indies. It's not a straightaway to Orlando, but I got to believe that trip to Orlando full time is not too far in the future. Hopefully, knock on wood. And I really think we still got it on the screen, the graphic from the main event. You know, Brittany, Shannon Levangie, Erica Demaya, like these are all girls that could very easily get that ID contract very soon. Absolutely. A bunch of the females that were ID'd and even a handful of the men I noticed, like I guess their like year just came up. So a bunch of them, depending on the phrasing, depending who's telling the story, either chose not to renew their contract or had their contract not renewed. So, you know, we're still early in this whole ID process. I'm interested to see how this pans out. We haven't seen any of them like become full-time roster members yet. I'm interested to see like how all this plays out. We're still early stages here.
Yeah. Laney, she was the readiest of the ready. I don't think you could get any more ready on the Indies than she was. She's a plug and play. Like you put her right in there with, you know, on Evolve, she can run. You put her on NXT, she can run. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was just cool to finally see this. So, shout out and applause, Laney there. And it's good to see that we'll still be able to see her on the Indies too. So, all right, last topic of the day, boys. It's not going to be such a happy one, man, because I felt like the last few days a big part of my childhood died because when I was growing up watching wrestling, you've heard me talk about the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, you know, when he was doing these crazy promos and I was paying attention. The guys holding the microphone that talked to him were Bob Caudle, Tony Schiavone, and Jim Crockett. You know what I mean? And Gordon Soley. And you know, Bob Caudle was the voice of Mid-Atlantic wrestling. Like when I could hear his voice across the room in a, you know, somewhere, you hear a TV down the hallway and know what's on TV by just, you know, Bob Caudle's voice. I think he lived to like almost 95, man, something like that. So just, you know, just crazy to think that, you know, awesome that, you know, he lived that long, but just like, you know, to think that, oh, here it is right here. Yeah, 1930 to 2020. Yeah, so he lived, he's 94, 95 years old. But it's crazy to think that, you know, this voice, this memory, you know, when this man talked, like, you know, it's like enshrined in my memory bank. You know what I mean? And I was watching some old Bob Caudle promos today, you know, during my lunch break at work, and you know, it was the way he carried himself. You know, he always kind of held the microphone out from, you know, his you know, from his chest a little bit. He always had, you know, a very proper diction, you know, when talking to these crazy wild ass wrestlers. You know what I mean? You know, and he always kind of like held court. It was like you didn't come in and disrespect Bob Caudle in his living room. You know what I mean? Everybody was kind of like always kind of like you know, they were respectful of Bob. And you know, man, this one hurts, man, because like, you know, I've lost Gordon, you know, Caudle now. You know, we got to protect Schiavone at all costs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's a big one to me, man. This one hurts right there. Is, you know, is if, you know, somebody close to me died, but like, you know, just I remember seeing him. I got to shake his hand, you know, sometime during the 90s at a show. But man, I'm really gonna miss Bob. So
yeah, like you hear just the reverence like Schiavone and JR like have for him, and like my generation, like we've put Schiavone and JR in like, you know, the top two spots. We love them, and they think so highly of Caudle. He came before them, and you know, even his like commentary stuff, you know, wasn't just the like holding the stick guy for everybody else. Like he did commentary. I want to say he calls one of the early Starcades, if I remember correctly. You might remember that for sure, DB. But I'm like you. Like obviously, it's you that are hard. That's more your era, your time frame where you grew up and everything. But yeah, anytime we lose one of the all-time greats, it's sad.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, boys. A little melancholy sadness to end the hot start there. We're going to pick it back up because it's time for the dropkick discussion, boys. But first, let's hear a word from the man with the deals.
Hi, Cody Kaiser here, and to all of you marks out there, the Pro Wrestling Podcast with the best wrestling talk and best deals is and forever will be right here on Sit Down Marks Podcast.
Appreciate it, sir. All right, so the dropkick discussion today, we're going to talk our top 3 favorite finishers in wrestling right now. At this moment, we're going to get it kicked off here. So, our top 3, you don't necessarily have to put them 1 to 3, but your top 3 you think is best in the business right now, and we'll go from there, and maybe throw out even a couple of honorable mentions. So, all right. Dylan, you wanna start us off tonight, brother?
Yeah. I'll kick things off here. List a couple honorable mentions here real quick. One of them I left as an honorable mention because like so many different people use it, and that would be the J Driller. Like that, like pile driver, like the underhook pile driver, I guess you'd call it. People of note, I have like Connor Hopkins uses it a bunch in Dreamwave. Cody Lane uses it a lot, Dreamwave and Glory Pro. That's just a sick move. And, anytime you can shout out Jay Briscoe, you got to do it. Also on the honorable mention, I had a Maggie Lee's finish, and she doesn't have a name for it, but it's like a Primo, that the crunchy Trent Beretta would do. Like he has a guy hooked almost like not a backpack, but like he has his legs on his back and his head's like between his legs, and he like sits down on them. Yeah. Maggie does that, but they're on the front, so it's like a tombstone almost.
Yeah.
But instead of the legs being up in the air, she has the legs hooked, and she just sits down on them.
Interesting.
And
okay.
Yeah, seen her get people in that position a couple different ways, and I think it's really cool. But the 3 I had for like my top 3, and I really don't have these in an order, just the top 3 I had listed. I got Braun Breaker Spear. I mean, the dude just
it's nasty.
Hits 80 miles an hour. Half. Cuts them right in half, whether it's on the outside of the ring, where he's lapping the ring, or in the ring, or what. We were there in person to see him cut the streamer in half at the Rumble. I don't remember the guy's name. I just remember him getting wrecked.
Speed, Ico.
Yeah, Ico Pro. Not Ico Pro. I show Speed. Yeah, there you go.
Ico Pro Speed.
Ico Pro. Yeah, there we go. The second one I had listed, I have Mander's Lariat. Kind of like the spear. I love it because it's so simple. It's heavy air quotes, just a clothesline. But the way he throws it, the force he has on it, like he's just knocking dudes' head off. It's sick. He can hit it on anybody. We're in the age where you have to hit, like 2 or 3 finishers in your big matches. Like,
sure.
So he'll hit the guy like from behind and knock him into the rope, and then rebound off the rope and hit him with it again. I think it's sick. I love a good clothesline, like, JBL, Stan Hansen, like a lariat. There's a difference in a lariat and a clothesline, and Manders throws lariat, best one in the game today. And the third one I had, it's just how you throw it. I would throw a clothesline. Little weak on Dylan over here, but just hold my arm out, hit a clothesline.
Yeah,
it's the force that Manders gets. Just boom. If you're listening, you can't see, but you got to really wind it up into it. Yeah,
clothesline, straight arm, lariats, curved arm.
Yeah. You gotta have some stank on it. Just rear back and knock their head off. And the last one of my 3 I had mentioned, just freak athleticism. Leon Slater's Swanton 450.
That is cool.
Goes in like the Jeff Hardy Swanton, and then does a 450 out of it. Like. It's insane. I don't know how these people even, think about doing it, much less go out and actually do it. I'd have a broken neck trying it, but that's why I'm in the front row and not in the ring jumping off the rope. But yeah, those are my 3: Braun Breaker Spear, Manders Lariat, and Leon Slater's Swanton 450.
All right. What's Sol Ruka's one called where she does
That's
that
actually a
flip
good
cutter.
one.
Soul Snatcher.
Soul
Soul
Snatcher.
Snatcher, yeah. That one didn't make my
Yeah.
list, but man, I thought about it a lot.
That's sick.
It
Yeah.
is. It's innovative. Primo, let's hear yours next, man. What you got?
Well, I'll follow Dylan's league and give you my honorable mentions real quick. First off, I love that the legacy of the Stunner is still being carried on by Kevin Owens. I speaking of the Soul Snatcher, not the Soul Snatcher, but both the Cody Cutter or the Oz Cutter. I love those.
Yeah.
And the devastation of the BTE or EVP trigger. Like that's a tag team finisher, but they look like they're killing the guy.
Yeah.
As far as my top, my three favorites right now, man, Dylan, you had to take that one. Leon Slater's Swanton 450. Definitely. I was just gonna go regular Swanton. Then I remembered Leon's Swanton 450. Like Dylan said, he starts it as a Swanton, and if he didn't know any better, you'd think he was gonna execute one. And then in midair, he contorts his body into a 450 splash.
It's crazy. Crazy.
And then my other two favorites here currently, I love Swerve's House Call. Love it.
That's a good one.
It's really good. Yeah, I just I like his Shining Wizard, but I like his a little better.
Yeah.
And then lastly, my current favorite, it's been my favorite for a long time. It's the three most devastating letters in all of WWE. You can't go wrong with an RKO.
That's right. Nice. Yep. RKO. All right, my three. Let me give my couple of. So, my favorite move in wrestling ever is a Spanish Fly. I don't really know anybody
so
ever,
good.
uses it as a finisher, but somebody should. But outside of that, honorable mentions. I really like it's. Okay. I'm sample boys. Give me big boys, lariats, and clothesline stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, give me a good package pile driver. I think Penta might use that. I used to love watching Craig Mitchell do it on the Indies.
Oh gosh, yes.
You know what I mean? He would
Yeah.
get a good running start and crunch. Penta does it. KO, I think, did it for a little while.
Yeah.
So
Mojo.
that's an honorable mention. I love when Seth curb stomps people, like especially if it's a good one where they really like bring their head up to his foot, and then they, what I mean, like probably not safe, but it looks good as hell. You know what I mean? So those are my honorable mentions. Number, probably not in any order, but I do have a favorite too. But as Primo said, RKO will always be in there. That thing is just fun to watch. It happens fast. Randy, when he did that one on Seth that one time, is probably the grandest one we'll ever.
What I was
see
just
in our
thinking about,
lifetime,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was fantastic. And my top two, I back on lariats, buckshot lariat from Hangman. I love the flips little he adds into it, to give him momentum, to give him extra, instead of just a running clothesline or whatever, I love that. But man, I have always loved the Shatter Machine, with FTR. Like I just love that face buster. I think it's top tier tag team finishing. I think it's top tier finisher. It's something that they kind of came up with their own. They took basically two moves and put them together. You know what I mean? And it's like that's another one too that like they can kind of get somebody out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, they can, and I love the setup, like they're, what's the name? Dax will pick them up and the other one, do, but yeah, that's great, man. So, and it's still, I love the spear, but I think it's just that so many people are doing it. You know what I mean?
Coming overplayed.
Yeah. I think that's what dilutes it kind of.
Yeah, and honestly, that's why I left the RKO out because, the RKO is the top.
Right.
Obviously, it's Randy, but so many people do a cutter and just throw it away that I left it off my list because everybody that does a cutter. But the shatter machine, I didn't list it as an honorable mention, but it was one I thought of because,
Sure.
like you said, like you would think, like, how can you hit a double team move out of nowhere? That takes, three people, the two doing
Right.
it and the one being done too. How can you do that out of nowhere? You have to set up for that. But
Right.
the way that they have figured out how to hit it out of anywhere, coming off the top rope for, just the way they do it, it's insane. You got to love it.
Yeah, it's a nice touch too, and I like that they've stuck with it. You know what I mean? And then it's like kind of become their move, and it's so like kind of protected now. If somebody else, a tag team, does it, you're like, oh, shatter machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, can't do that, bro.
Dax will let you know.
Yeah.
Dax will have no problem letting you know. Yeah.
He will. Yeah. All right, boys, good stuff. That's going to do it for the drop kick discussion this week. It's time to go home, Primo. Let's hear a word from my guy, Christian Rose.
This is Christian Rose, Old Evil, that damn coyote, Moonshine, Illinois' favorite son, the truth, the bitter lunatic, a man with so many nicknames even I can't remember them all, proudly representing those damn coyotes, King in the Valley, and you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
I like when he says, I have so many nicknames, I can't even remember them all. King in the Valley. Like he
Proceeds to name his
remembered-
nicknames.
like you just remembered it, right? That's funny shit. We're reminding you to go follow at Sit Down Marks on all our socials, of course. Head on over to sitdownmarks.com. Give us a subscription there if you don't mind. All of our video pods that we've did over almost 4.5 years now is on there, and also go back and check out the library. We've got close to 200 episodes there for you. Remind you that Dreamwave Prelude, our YouTube series where we showcase the stars of tomorrow in Dreamwave Wrestling, episodes 1 through 4 are available right now on sitdownmarks.com. Go check those out. Episode 5 coming up here in about middle of December. We're going to be dropping the episode. So I want to remind you to visit Primo's Etsy store. What's it called again?
That's Darkfire 3D. I'm also on eBay as well.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
That's what's up.
moving up in the world.
Yeah, he is. All right, Dylan. What's going on this weekend at Independent Wrestling, man? You got any shows this weekend?
Maybe.
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 Okay. Maybe
I-
one on the
I-
docket.
I might go to AAW. I wasn't planning on it, but I haven't been to a show in about a month, and the next one I have scheduled is in about 3 weeks. So I'm kind of getting that itch. I kind
Scarlett's
of
gonna
hit
be
the
there.
road.
Yeah.
They announced last night the Besties versus Sinner and Saint,
Mhm.
and I probably won't because the last full slate Saturday of college football, and we have to enjoy that while it's here. But I might hit the road. But a lot going on this weekend, a lot in Chicago. I'll just start there with AAW. Saturday night, Berwyn Eagles. DB, you mentioned Scarlett. She's taking on Sierra. Of course, Scarlett has a long history at AAW. She'll be coming back. Like I said, Besties versus Sinner and Saint. There's been a couple times Fitch and Vega have teamed up more recently, but they haven't been a team as often as they used to be. Used to be one of the best in the besties in the world, one of the best in the world. Main event, Trevor Lee defending against Quintero, AAW heavyweight title. Stay in Chicago Thursday night, Freelance. Big card for Freelance. Kevin Koo challenging Chico Suave for the Legacy title. GPA and Laney versus Hunk Cassidy and iCandy Elliott in a Chicago street fight. And stay in the Chicago Friday night, CSW, one of their big shows. Check out this ladder match for the women's title. It's Lily La Pescadita versus Maggie Lee versus Amina Belmont versus Shaza McKenzie versus Blair Onyx versus Sophia Sivan versus Haven Harris. All of them in a ladder.
Good God.
Lily's women's title up for grabs. Also got Warhorse versus Gringo Loco. That's going to be really good. They got they call it the Ring of Destiny. It's a big battle royal that battles down to a 4-way with the winner getting a title shot. Yeah, that should be an exciting show. Revolver's got a show this weekend. Myron Reed defending the world title against Jordan Oliver. They have history as a team. Myron has just on an incredible run as champ. They're going to tear it down, and a Big Bear, Bronson, and Cruel are going at it. That's going to be wild. They're two big men. ICW got a double shot. The first one is Friday. John Wayne Murdoch defending against the Bev, Del Patrick's and Crazy King, and then they wrap it up on Saturday in Indianapolis, I believe. One I'm really excited for, Gary J and Aaron Williams, Unsigned and Don't Care, taking on Tommy Vendetta and MM3, the Pillars. Those four are just going to go crazy, wreck each other. If Murdoch's still the champ, he'll defend against Del Patrick's. GCW and JCW will be the last two I mentioned here. GCW, you got Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, Major Brothers. They're teaming up against Killer Cross and Jimmy Lloyd. Tommy Dreamo and Rhino, two ECW legends, teaming up against Matt Tremont and Bear Bronson. Maki Ito is on the card taking on Zeta Steel. That should be pretty fun. And then JCW on Sunday, just a crazy stacked card. Billy Starks defending the title against Charles Mason. Jordan Oliver and Alec Price defending the tag titles against the Bronco Zone and Manny Lowe. You got Lee Moriarty and Gringo Loco. Thomas Shire versus Mad Dog Conley. Just JCW, they always have just a stacked card. That'll be for free on YouTube on Sunday if you're interested in checking it out. The preview should go up. Preview should go up Thursday evening if everything goes as planned. Easiest way to find that is on my Twitter at DHagerJ15. That'll be pinned to the top of the page as soon as it goes live.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks from all of us here at the Sit Down Marks podcast. Want to say, make sure you guys have a good Thanksgiving, eat lots of good food, be safe in travels. And we got a little surprise for you. Next week, we're going to replay our most popular and most downloaded guest interview of 2025 for your listening pleasure. You can listen on the way to your parents' house. You can listen on the flights. At your family gathering. You can leave your family if they're annoying you. Go sit in your car and listen to the podcast. But what was the most popular interview guest on the podcast this year? Well, drum roll, please.
This is Bruce Hamilton. And when I'm not educating my opponents with lessons in pain, I'm right here listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Hell yeah, he is.
Yeah.
There you go. The most downloaded and popular interview of 2025 on the Sit Down Marks podcast was none other than Bruce Hamilton. So this was a really good interview. So we're going to be re-dropping that next week. Re-dropping it. Just do that over again. We're going to be dropping that one for you to listen to on the way, in case you didn't catch it the first time. So that's going to be coming up. And what's coming up in December, where we're going to end the year strong with we're going to have a pod talking about what kind of progress we think the AEW made in 2025. We're going to be dropping another DB's Territory Treasures. There's going to be 2 new episodes of Dreamwave Prelude coming up. And our last part of the year will be dedicated as a farewell to John Cena. We're going to be talking about our favorite John Cena memories, moments, what we remember from John's career. And then that's going to wrap it up for 2025, man, already. You guys believe it, man? I swear like this year's really, really went by quick.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah. All right. So for Primo and Dylan, I am DB the Dirty Bird. Thank you for watching on YouTube and Facebook, and thank you for listening on all this podcast platforms out there. If you're new to the pod and you're watching right now, stay tuned. We look at old pay-per-view posters after the show is over and let Dylan impress us with his wrestling brain by just looking at the poster and telling us match for match the whole card.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, so stick around, because intensity is coming up. So now we really do appreciate it, man. Thanks for checking out the pod. And Primo, happy Thanksgiving, brother. Hope you have a good one.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Dylan,
Hope all of
happy
you have a
Thanksgiving,
good one.
brother.
Anybody that's out there traveling, listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast, Be safe while you do it, and sorry if your kids are in the car.
And you know what to do.
You know, I think the way to do it is like when you sit down for your family Thanksgiving meal,
yeah.
just have the Marks playing in the background. You know, just
Put a
let
song.
let us talk to you while you enjoy your turkey, your dark meat. If you're like Primo,
Dark
you know,
meat
let us
and
let us
legs.
just be the voice. Let us be the voice of your holiday.
Right. You're sitdownmarks.com and put us on your TVs on YouTube too.
Yeah.
You can just look at us the whole time.
Mwah.
That'd be a Thanksgiving for you. All right. You know what to do. Keep spreading the good word of wrestling. We'll see you next time, people. Happy Thanksgiving.
Toodaloo.
All right, here we go. Judgment Day. What year?
Oh boy.
Judgment Day poster. Kane's on the
It-
front, coming down
yeah.
steps. Looks like he's stepping into hell.
I'm gonna say 07.
You're a monster.
Oh no way. Oh, that is no. I'm not.
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
doing
say
it
it
very
had
good.
to be 06 or 07 because
The
of the
next one's the
ECW logo.
layup. Where was it at?
Where was it? I do not know where it was at.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
this would be the layup. All right, it was in St. Louis.
No. Oh, was it really?
Scott
Oh wow.
Trade Center
I'm-
back in when it was.
I'm
the
not
Scott
sure
Trade
I knew
Center.
that.
All right.
So,
I mean, I didn't
07.
write everything down for the card, but you just want to throw anything out at me that happened on this?
Yeah. Is that Cena Kali?
Yeah, sure was.
Okay, it's kind of coming
Cena
back to me
tapped
now.
out Kali. Yeah.
Cena and Kali. I want to say Batista and Edge.
Yep. Edge won.
We're gonna start rolling here. I believe it is Vince and Shane and Umaga versus Bobby Lashley for the
Yes.
ECW title.
Yes. I only have two more
Um,
notes, so
Yeah, I'm not gonna get much farther than that. Trust me. It's Benoit and MVP. It's Benoit's last pay per view, if I am correct.
what were the stakes?
Um,
What were the stakes?
It's a U.S. title. I want to say best 2 out of 3 falls,
you're
and
a
I
man,
think
man.
MVP wins 2-0. I remember being very pissed off about that.
All
And
right.
then, a month later, our whole thought of Benoit changed, but we won't go there. And then that would be like, no. I was going to say Chavo and Punk, but I don't think that's right. I think I'm a year off on that.
I didn't write anything down about Punk, but
Yeah.
I wrote something down about the tag match. You got anything for that?
Hardys and it's either Kata Murdoch or Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. I'm gonna go Kata
Nailed it
Murdoch.
first time, man. Kate
Yeah.
Murdoch. What?
I'm not
what-
convinced that
man.
you don't have this pulled up right in front of you.
I don't. I promise I don't.
I'm convinced. I believe you. Yeah. 2008 Judgment Day.
Man,
Kane had something to do on this card, I guess. I should have wrote down what he did since he's on the poster.
Kane.
it might be Kane and Umaga, but I'm just don't
Yeah.
hold me on that one. I'm just throwing it out.
All right. Well,
Umanga.
we'll try to stump the Schwab next time. We gotta come up with the segment like something.
Fucking capital punishment.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with something obscure. All right.